I can still remember as a little kid being so excited for my parents to come home after a successful opening weekend. Kind of similar to that Christmas morning feeling, just so excited to see what they got. And in Wisconsin, I think opening weekend could be compared to a holiday. Being taken out of school the Friday before gun season was kind of expected, and I can even remember after I started hunting, taking off the following Monday and cutting up deer with my brother and my dad. This little property that we hunt has been helping create some of my fondest memories since I was 12 years old, and my family's been making memories there long before that. There's photo albums packed full of huge smiles and deer of all sizes, and I'll forever be grateful that my grandpa and his buddy Mike decided to purchase the property back in the mid-'70s. To this day, I can still sit with my grandpa and flip through old photo albums and enjoy his stories about hunting camp in the big woods of northern Wisconsin. And when I look at these old pictures of him and his buddies, I hope to keep that same tradition alive. Every year, meeting up with old and new friends, creating memories that'll put a smile on my face for the rest of my life, and then passing those stories on to the next generation. He can even sit there and look at his dad's old photo album, dating all the way back to the early 40s, and tell me every story just like he was there. His dad traveling to the UP, fresh out of the Navy, getting countless flat tires, ending up at some stranger's house that they'd eventually end up to hunt for years to come. Meat poles filled with deer, bucks strapped to the hood of an old car. It's amazing how much times have changed, but one thing stays the same. I can't wait to see where else hunting takes me and who I get to meet along the way. But for now, we're headed to Wisconsin for another opening weekend.
I know where Chris was at, and you know,
I don't know if he punched through a muskrat tunnel or what. It was on the edge, and all of a sudden I just dumped through up to my thigh, and I was like, oh, thank God there's no water in this right now. I literally get in this drive, and I'm seeing just trees tore up. There's deer just literally going around everywhere right now. And all of a sudden I hear, pow, and I'm like, oh, we got one. We got a buck down. All of a sudden I hear, pow, again, and I'm like, what? Yeah, we got two?
All right, you got some predictions for the morning for me then?
Yeah, I'm gonna see a 4-pointer, 2 does, and I think Callan's gonna rip one at a buck tomorrow, so pretty jacked about that.
You got predictions for the Hipson family?
Blood everywhere. That's why we're doing.
I want a specific breakdown on what's Jim gonna do?
Jim is gonna throw some lead. You're gonna back him up as usual. And if he hits it, great. If he doesn't, Jake will get it, or Scott will get it. Yeah, even Sherry will get in the party, I think, a little bit tomorrow, too. So,
You got predictions for yourself?
Yeah, I'm probably not going to be feeling good in the morning. Yeah.
Don't tape me, Jake. Go tape Dad. Really.
What are your predictions?
I'm predicting $2 all weekend.
2?
$2 all weekend.
I'd take that.
Yep, we'll take it.
Good luck. If I see something go out in the marsh here and that guy shoots and it goes in, I'm just gonna yell that there's a buck. So if I yell, look out towards the marsh. All right.
Deer splashed on the water out there. Alright, I gotta talk pretty quiet because we got pretty uneventful day so far. We saw 2 fawns right before legal light. I think it sounded like some other deer were getting pushed around. We could hear them splash into the water. But since then, the neighbors have all got down. We watched this guy leave about, 9:30? And then this guy got down. He walked the property line. Figured he'd kick some deer up when he did that, but he didn't. Not our direction, at least. And then there's been a couple people walking back and forth across the marsh over there. Not a ton of shooting, nothing real close, but Jim just woke me up from a little snooze. There's a doe and a fawn that came, and they eventually got downwind of us, I think, and the doe looked up here at us, and they went back kind of where they came from. They walked pretty much the same path where we shot all of it. Here we go, it's a little closer. There's a bunch of blue jays going up in there earlier this morning where those deer came from, so I figured there was something up in there. Sure enough, something eventually popped up, but maybe there'll be a buck behind them. Everybody should start coming back to sit for the evening, and hopefully they pick some new stands and they walk through some stuff that they haven't yet and get some deer moving our way, maybe. Where's the one at? Coming out to the right. Get you coming. Look it to the left. It's going to come out there. Coming to the left there. That'll be about 100 yards. Yeah. There it is. Buck. Little buck. Like that. They was laying in there all day. That's probably one of the deer we heard this morning. That never gets old. Oh no. Did I shoot twice or did you? Yeah, I don't know. Stik did. You like this as a shooter? I'm like, I don't know. I can't see it. And then I put my gun up and I was about to shoot.
He was calm enough that I figured I should let him get out to him.
Take your time. It's not too often where we get to shoot at them when they're walking like that. Horse are crossed right in the canes there.
So we're sitting there all day.
Just moving natural. 3 o'clock. Just, oh, shoot. It ain't very cold out either. There's been this pileated woodpecker on these dead trees in front of us making a bunch of noise here the last hour or so. And that deer, those deer have been up for a while in there, it sounded like, because the woodpecker was making noise, but then you could hear grass moving around every once in a while too. Sure enough, a little buck popped out. And there was a nice, I don't know what it was, nice buck behind him.
The biggest buck we see all day.
Yeah. Same thing we always shoot.
So it looks like every other buck on my basement wall. Maybe I gotta add that to the collection.
Yeah.
I think we got him.
Nice one.
Yeah, nice enough. Yeah, he's nice enough.
He's bigger than the first one that came through.
Yeah, he's bigger than the one that was right in front of him.
There were 2 of them.
Yeah. boots? Yeah.
What?
I'm gonna need my hip boots out of the back of my truck after it gets darker at close in. If somebody wants to grab those and bring them out.
Yeah, that I will.
Alright, sounds good.
Alright, bye.
Show one now.
Bright red. A bunch of hair there, and probably that's where he hit him.
You alright? I'm alright, yeah. There's some blood.
And this is where you're standing.
When you shot?
Huh?
When you shot him?
Yeah.
Good deal.
Oh, when they got a rack like that, they're gonna be tangled up.
You seen how busted they are, is it?
It's the first one I shot in a long time that hasn't. Might be the first buck I've ever shot that never broken, made being or broken time.
Where'd you hit him? It seemed pretty good. The blood seemed pretty good. Perfect. Nice shot. That blood seemed good the whole way. He just ran until he died right here.
No, hell yeah.
At least it's dry this year. No, you're leaning to the right pretty far. Well, there's water coming over the side of the right.
Huh?
There's water coming over that right side.
Just float across.
Just water steady.
Ready? One.
Water on the other.
On count of three, get him, jump.
Here, I'm gonna.
Oh,
Happy birthday!
Just sweet.
Love you!
Love you.
2, 3.
Whether we have a successful hunt or not, there's always something to look forward to opening weekend. It's always fun to meet up with family and friends and tell stories old and new, and see supper clubs fill up across the state. Whether it's seeing the tailgate drop down on another truck and snapping your head around, or doing that slow drive-by past the neighbor's meat pull to see if they had any luck. There's some sights that just never get old. After opening weekend, my buddies and I always get together for a couple days around Thanksgiving and do some deer drives. And I wanted to take a second to address the party hunting law in Wisconsin. Group hunting is only allowed during the firearm season in Wisconsin, and we have made use of it many times. We always establish that it's okay with everyone in our party ahead of time, that way there's no confusion. And the person that's registering the deer has to be present during the hunt, and they must be carrying a weapon. This rule is pretty handy for us during these deer drives. That way, if somebody hasn't killed a deer that year, they can register the deer and take it home and they got some deer meat. It's always fun to meet up with everyone and get some meat on the ground, and then head back to the shop for a couple cold ones and fry up some fresh venison. No matter how much paint begins to fade off that old coop, you can bet that next year around this time, we'll be pushing across the river in an old canoe, hoping to fill her up, waiting on another opening day.
Right behind that.
Look at him. Look at Chris. That's the guy you want on your team right there.